focuses on executive coaching and organizational behavior, and really, you know, the focus that my firm, where we kind of brought, you know, put our flag in the sand, is around authenticity and innovation. And as we open this retreat today, what that means is, you know, look, I'm 53 years old. I've been doing this work for about 30 years. And if the dialogue is not authentic, why are we here? You know, we don't have time to waste. Innovation comes about with whatever solutions or paths that we decide to walk on. Okay, those have to be innovative. It can't be the same old thing, because you don't improve that way. Real simple. That's really the focus. Full disclosure, and I think everybody knows this, I've been working with the district. I don't know, this is probably the 4th time I've facilitated the retreat. Done a lot of work with the district. I also do work with the city. I'm leading the city council retreat and the city staff, the city of Richmond retreat as well. Then do work with public entities and big corporations and a few small startup businesses that I find really interesting. So that's kind of my background. You know, I got up this morning and I was thinking, the best outcome, selfishly, is that you're all engaged and that you all feel that you were heard. I've been a part of retreats where people dominate or attempt to dominate. I'm pretty strong. I try not to allow that to happen. Okay, this is not my agenda or my retreat. It's your retreat, and I will dance out of here if you all feel that you've been heard. Okay, and that you've shaped the direction of the board, and that you've had some really deep dialogue about this important district. And this is just on a side note. I was telling Bruce this. Those of you who know me know that I'm a cyclist, and I'm really jazzed this morning because I found out yesterday, this is the year, as you guys know, the 50th anniversary of the March on Montgomery. So there's a roadside list. There is a ride that is going from, you start in Montgomery, you take a picture with all the riders on the state capitol, and you go by bus to Selma, and you start at the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And then you slowly, see a lot of people ride across that bridge, and then you follow the route, all 52 miles back. So I am jazzed. And I think what that means to me, my family's from the South. They left because the Klan beat up my grandfather in Louisiana. And what that means to me is, you know, I looked at who signed up, all colors of people, from all over this country. And, you know, when you cycle, you're a cyclist, when you cycle in a pack like that, you know, unfortunately, you guys heard what happened to Herman Shum, okay, you know, we knew him, we read that about. You have to be in concert. And so, one of the reasons I love to cycle so much is because you get rid of all the pardon me, but the BS, and you gotta focus, you gotta be there. And so I was thinking about that this morning, and it's like, you know, let's be here today, let's be present, let's work together. You got to watch each other's cues. It's not just about your agenda, because if you do that, you'll cause a crash. Okay? So let's just focus. All right? So the topics that we will cover, I'm going to do an exercise called the 6-word story. And really, that's about what does all this mean for us? What does board service mean for us this year? The next is, what are our rules of engagement? How, over this next year, are we going to interact with each other? Hopefully there is a new tone being set, you know, in terms of collaboration and transparency. And how do we respect each other through that process? I want to read you something that I found, a little parable, and talk about it, a high-performing team, what not to do. Priorities. When I interviewed all of you, I asked what your top 3 priorities are. And this is really a neat of different served, both in terms of the committees and the school and the city assignments, and ranked them, and it was really fascinating. And so the purpose of that was just to give us an idea. We're going to have a very robust conversation about that, because that is where your passion has to be here. And you really have to understand what each committee needs, or each assignment. And then the big, hairy, audacious goal, if any of you guys have read Good to Great, one of the things that's true about high-performing teams, if they have a big goal, that is something that is not outrageous, but it's a real stretch, it really is a motivating sort of rallying call. Fair enough? So before we jump into this, comments, thoughts, questions? Yeah?
Pretty ambitious.
We may finish sooner than you think. We may, we finish, sometimes we finish right after lunch, and sometimes not. Whatever it takes. Yeah? Okay. All right. Press ahead. Okay. So 6-word stories. So take a look at this. Ernest Hemingway, obviously. He was asked to write a 6-word story, and this is what he did. For sale, baby shoes, never used. There's so much meaning that can be that can come from that. Any way you use it. Of course, it was Ernest Hemingway. I would expect you all to become Ernest Hemingway, in the next few minutes. But when I've done this with other senior teams, what's really interesting is you'd be surprised what comes out. I'm going to have you all do this, and then we're going to talk about it. This is one of my favorites. This is a client of mine, Kaiser. You may have seen this billboard. Kermit eats flies, dates a pig, Hollywood star. There's a lot you can do. You can make it humorous, but you can also ascribe a lot of meaning to it. And what's really important in a bigger picture, besides just the six-word story, is the importance of understanding each other's stories. Liz, when you and I met, I told you some of based on my perspective as an African-American woman and member of the community, I used to live here, but what I was hearing about certain things happening in the community. And I remember you said to me, well, don't spread that because you don't know. And I remember we had a very good conversation. And my point was I wasn't spreading it, but it was the story that I was hearing. And so we need to understand each other's stories, where we're coming from, the context. Because we also make up stories in our heads, okay? We hear something from someone, and then we ascribe meaning to it. And we really need to explore what they mean. And we have to dialogue in order to understand the stories. And often the effect of another story is not necessarily what they intended, but it's often infused by our stuff. So I want to think about that, because there's a lot of stories going around this district. To understand another person, you have to start with your own story. It's where we're going to do our own stories, to test where you are. Ask for their story and listen, not to refute. That's a lot of people think they're listening, but they're really preparing their rebuttal. You're not listening. Now, I'm guilty of that. But listen for their intent. Share the effect of their previous actions, words before, and after hearing the story, and how did understanding their story when they explained it to you impact you. So my story about WCCU is fighting uphill. And I put uphill in highlights because I do think things are moving forward. But it's still a fight. A lot of economic stressors, but there are a lot of great people here. So I want you to write your story. I want you to take about 5 minutes. I don't want to take a long time, but I want you to write your story about I put FOC. I'm sorry, about it may be part of it, but about the district right now. And I don't want you to say whatever comes to you. Okay. Take 5 minutes and write it, and then we're going to share it. Is that clear?